Alright, looks like we're actually streaming. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson. It is January 12th. Wow, already so far into the month. And this is the January 12th TextQuest dev stream. So, today we're going to be focusing on combat, specifically the combat minigame that we've talked about over the past week. Since the last stream, I've made quite a bit of progress on it. It is not quite done yet. It's not technically functional yet. All the base code is there, but I have yet to actually rig up some of the fancier, more pleasing parts of it. So as you can see, we have a quick view thrown together where we have the player on the left side with the enemy on the right side. So something analogous to Pokemon. And the player will have various pieces of equipment displayed. And the reason there are two swords is because obviously I want to keep in mind left-handed and right-handed choices. So if you're left-handed, then you would only see the left-handed side, and if you're right-handed, you'd see the right-handed side. You can have wearable equipment, that'll show up as well. So basically, whatever you're wearing or equipped with at the time will show up on your character. The second area is our input area with options. Now, what's actually going to happen is when you actually begin your attack or defense phase, this input screen will, or this input area will tween off of the screen. So when you're actually in combat directly, doing real-time typing, you won't be typing into an input field. You'll be typing just on your keyboard. And we will have visual indicators to show you like what is happening in reaction to your typing. So your three options are battle, which will be something similar to a mix of Typing of the Dead, which we played last Friday, where you have to type things really quickly, mixed with sort of a turn-based system of Pokemon, where you'll have your turn first, where you have a bunch of words that you have to type, and the more words you type, the higher your attack combo becomes, and then eventually, after you've reached enough of a combo, you will attack, or you will kill the opponent. After your turn is over, your opponent will get their turn, and they will have something similar to you, where they have a bunch of attacks that they spit out at you, and you have to type to make the attacks go away. So if the word attack comes on screen, you'll have to type attack, and if you don't get attack finished, then you'll get hit, and you'll lose health. So if you lose all of your health before your opponent does, then obviously you die, and you have to reload. And then if you manage to defeat your opponent, then the opponent is vanquished, and then they disappear. In the middle here, we have just sort of a nice, well, not nice, it's not that impressive, a simple information label that's just going to say, this is sort of like what happens in turn-based combat or in stuff like Pokemon or, I know Paper Mario didn't do it. I want to say some JRPGs do it, like, I don't remember if Final Fantasy does it or not. Some of them I thought did. Anyway, where it's just a quick little blurb saying like, so-and-so attacks. Or in this case, the sewer troll stares blankly at you, and that's just going to be a quick thing saying like that'll also be where victory or defeat is displayed and all that. That'll usually be off, but I wanted to have it in there for clarity. And then if we actually look beneath our input field, I'm just going to turn it off. We have another label that's actually telling you how to do specific actions. So if you're attacking, it'll say type the words to build your combo. If you're defending, it'll say type the words to defend yourself. Blah 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 blah. And that's normally going to be deactivated, but once the input field tweens off screen, we'll actually fade that in so that you know what you're doing. All right, so that's where the visual stuff is right now. Code-wise, I have, excuse me, a lot of different. Oh, right, it's off on the other screen. I've been working on a bunch of classes, namely Combat Minigame, which is sort of, it's the system that you're seeing here. And basically, that breaks down into you start combat, you have a coroutine controlling the flow of combat. So when you first come in, you have this little quick delay that lets the blurb in the middle there show up. So you'll see the sewer troll stares blankly at you for 3 seconds in this case. And then we actually enter combat proper, where we have different phases depending on what's going on. So we start with the start phase, where you actually have to determine what you're going to do. So you choose between battle, item, or flee. If you choose battle, you go into those battle phases that we talked about before. If you choose item, it'll show you a list of equipable or usable items in battle. And I'm currently debating whether or not I should try to limit the items displayed to just items that are useful for your battle, or if I should just show you your inventory. Because I'm currently sort of rethinking how the inventory itself is going to be managed. Just because one key mechanic that I've talked about a little bit before here is unlocking doors, where you have to actually say unlock door with key. And a lot of people tend not to do that. They just want to say open door if they have the key. So I'm wondering if it would be easier for me to just relegate keys to a keychain, similar to what games do that? I think Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls games do it. So if you have a key and you open a door that requires that key, it'll just say opened and then in parentheses with the key. So that way it's a little more streamlined, not quite as hectic for people, not quite as a challenge, not quite as much of a challenge for them to pick up. And that sort of design philosophy is going to affect what items I display here. Because I could just display every item, but then most items would be useless, and I don't want people to have useless items take up space. Because choosing to equip an item would be your phase, so you wouldn't get to do an attack phase for that turn. You would just have to avoid the enemy's attacks. So I'm still kind of messing with that, design-wise. Flee is fairly straightforward. It's something similar to... probably the closest thing I can think of is Paper Mario, where when you select Flee Battle, it's not just like dice roll and then you have to run away, but only if you've gotten enough. Or well, wait, I think I said it's not like Paper Mario. It's not like Pokemon where it's just a dice roll and you just have to hope you have higher speed. It's more like Paper Mario where you have an action that you have to perform. In this case, you would have to type. Similar to attacks, you'd have to type a bunch of words that mean run away, basically. And then if you get enough of those, then you will actually escape. And if you do not get enough of those, then you will just have wasted a turn. So, anyway, that's sort of the state of things right now. That's where we are code-wise. A lot of stuff going on. It's a pretty massive undertaking. And right now, it's not quite functional, so it's hard to tell. We're doing a lot of front-end coding, which is something I always get nervous about. I don't like working like deep in the bowels of code for so long without seeing a visual result. But in any case, we should be close to getting a actual functional thing going. But I've just been working on some of the more intricate details of the system, mixed with the fact that actual life work has kind of gotten in the way of doing what I wanted to do. I just wanted to test something real quick because I was working on this before the stream. Oh, good, it does expand. So this is the attacks that you would see. We would have a single label. I'm going to turn off the mini game real quick so that we can see. Ooh. Oh, right, because it's gray. Go figure. I turn off the mini game itself. So normally we would have a single label with gray text. And then as you start typing, the text would become either white, so something like this. Like that. Or some other specific color to the player. Maybe your favorite color. Actually, that would make a lot of sense. I might do that instead of just pure white. And then if whichever attack is closest will actually have this little red box around it to show you, to help you prioritize which thing you should type if you're avoiding attacks. And if it's your own attacks, you won't ever really see this this outline because it doesn't really make sense. That's more of a warning to show the player, like, this attack's going to hit you if you don't get rid of it. So that's where we are right now. And we will continue coding from what I was doing before. So I was working on combat attack, which is basically going to have a quick fade in, so it doesn't just like pop in. Then it'll have a duration where it's completely opaque, and then it'll fade out. And if in the case of player attacks, if it fades out and you don't get to type it, nothing bad happens. You just don't get that attack for your combo. And if an enemy's attack makes it all the way to its phase, then you will take damage. Actually, I almost forgot. I need to have some health options. And this is something else I've been working on, trying to figure it out properly. go to UI, text. This is going to be right below. Oops, 8-bit font. Let's go down here. So this text is going to be fairly simple, and it is going to actually have, in this case, I'll just go 20 out of 20, so pretty basic. Central, let's do overflow. Oh, sorry, Trinicate, and then overflow here. So the main thing here is that this is going to show the health that your enemy has, and I will have a similar label on the player. So let me make this reddish. Either reddish or white, or I guess we could do yellow, so that it stands out a little bit more. It's hard to say. I kind of want to make it red, but I feel like red is it should be reserved for when you're low on health. So I think could make it white. Yeah, you know what? We'll just go with classic. Make it white. So that's this label. Let's call that HP. Enemy HP. But we are also going to need to have one for the player. And that is probably... not sure where a good place for that's going to be. Because this could be a couple of places, honestly. Since the enemy is always going to be facing the player and they're always going to be flat, it's fine to parent the health to it. But the player, it obviously can't go below the player's sprite because hero is partially cut off by the input field, which is by design. That's not just me being careless. I would prefer not to stick it. Let me make a label so that we can move it around at least to look at it. Text. 8-bit font. Make this 24. 20 out of 20. We'll make it white as well. Player HP. Alright. So I'd prefer to not have it be here necessarily, because once the input goes away, and then our combat info label, which actually should be quite a bit lower. Let's make it... Oh, that's why. Okay. Give me a second here. That works better. And let's go -25. So our combat info label is going to be there, and then our options would be gone, which means that we would just have this label kind of floating here in space. And I'm not crazy about that. We could have the player HP be over here. So it's like on top of the player. But I'm almost worried that since the player would have so many things attached to them that it would kind of get lost in all of that text. But at the same time, I'd rather not just have it be like at the top left of the screen, because then that's just coming out of nowhere. That's just really weird. Actually, trying to remember, how does Pokemon do it? I'm pretty sure that your health is... Oh. No, your health is on the right? No, they're not both on the left, are they? God, it's been too long since I've played a Pokemon game. And it's probably not going to show me anything from the Pokemon game, is it? Yeah, no, I was right. Your health is on the right, and the enemy's health is going to be on the left, if I remember correctly. Now, if only I could find an actual image. Okay, fine. Pokemon battle. There we go. Yeah, I was right. So your health is on the right, and your opponent's health is on the left. because your opponent is on the right and you are on the left. So I would prefer not to do that because I don't want to have like this massive Pokemon style health bar or health, not even just a health bar. That's like a health chunk thing. I don't know, health display. But we don't want to have that. I want to stick with numbers. So I think having it right below the enemy and I guess right above the player would be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that that would probably be fine. Okay. Now let's go ahead and stick that close to the hero. Now here's where it's gonna get wonky. One, we're gonna want to stick it up to the top here. Two, hit 0. It is set to Trunicate, or set to. We'll just do an overflow to be careful on the horizontal side. Do I care about rich text? Because I could just change the color. I'm not caring about rich text. Same with the enemy HP. It doesn't need rich text. So we have that, but as you can see, we can't just stick it, right above the player. We have to stick it with enough of an offset that it's, well, let me see. Let me turn off this. Let me turn off the head equipment. Let's turn this on, and then let's move this to 50, 75 then. Okay. Now, the big question is if that's too high up. Oof. That's really high up. Hello, None Superior. We are currently taking a look at the combat system that I have been working on. It's not quite finished. I'm trying to do layouts right now for the visual style, and I've settled something on something sort of similar to Pokemon, where you have your player character at the bottom left and the enemy at the top right. And I'm trying to figure out a good place to put the health bar. So let's go ahead and turn off the things that wouldn't be visible. So that's not going to be visible. The attack label will only be visible when you're attacking. So that's not too worrisome. Combat info label, I'm going to drop another 45. There we go. That's pretty good. So I feel like player HP here is just too high up. It feels like it's floating there. And it's not so bad when, the wizard cap is equipped. But I wonder if I could lower this. Give me a second here, actually. Here's the hero. And then our head equipment is pretty much right about there. So if I lower this more, I could do that. Oh, nice! Nice! You should post a link. And then people will go to it. All 2 people watching the stream. Oh, congratulations. Do you have any feedback yet? Or any comments? Usually the first... okay, we're going to take a little break to see the Steam green light for it. Because usually the first... we will let the trailer play. Oh, you already got 22 comments. That's really cool. Oh. Nice. That was a good trailer. That was much better than Tex Quest trailer, which was a terrible, terrible trailer. Yeah, I don't think I'm signed in now, so I can't vote for it yet. But I will vote for that after the stream. But yeah, that's cool. Um, so congratulations on taking the first step to getting on Steam. No, I guess one of the possible first steps. Technically, there are other ways to get on Steam aside from Greenlight, but Was the reverse mode the thing you were talking about with Williams inverse mode? Clear all these stupid things. I need to upgrade Sector because it's they updated it finally. Yeah, it's really it's hard to put yourself out there. I think. Um, so it's one of those things that you have to do because if you don't, then you'll never improve. Um, so the other option that I have is to basically have the player HP be either at 75 or if the head equipment is not there at 25, I think. So basically, we would have the health move depending on if there's a piece of clothing on the head or not. So a very nervous experience. But now that it's out there, you can't really. Uh, you just have to see what people think of it and respond accordingly, and do your best not to freak out or do anything like that. Because most people, at least from my experience, most were fairly constructive if they had criticism. I mean, if you start getting really popular, you'll probably start getting the trolls. I guess I don't know if I would say trolls, but you'll get people who just pop in and say like it sucks and then leave. Um, which I feel is always just counterintuitive to the whole process because it's fine. It's fine if people think a game sucks, but I would prefer to at least hear why they think it sucks because then I can get useful data out of it. But still though, congratulations again. Um, so where was I? Combat, right? So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to have to find a way to adjust the player's health. So I'm going to go to combat minigame and let's open this up. Enemy health, player health, and combo label, public, text, player, health, label, public, train, text, enemy, health, label. That's true, talking about trolls, and we happen to be doing troll combat. Anyway. Oh, and one of the other things that I did over the weekend was do a little bit more streamlining of the interactive object template. Ah, crap. I hate it when I do that. Of the interactive object template. So I added an extra tab for weapon. So now there's a weapon class that, let me find it. Hero sword that actually has specific information regarding weapons. I guess I don't have a thing for that. That makes sense. And basically, depending on your weapon type, either puncture, slash, blunt, or melee for now, that's actually going to determine what your attacks are in these combat sequences. So, for example, in puncture, I was planning on having things be in one spot, fade in, then fade out, like you're stabbing something. Then for, say, slash, you would actually have things coming in from the sides or from angles, but actually moving. Blunt would probably be like a quick movement, then a stop, then a quick movement, then a stop, so it's like sort of zigzagging around. And I'm not sure what melee would be, but I'm sure I could come up with something. Maybe blunt and melee should be the same thing, but either way. I just wanted to do that so it's aesthetically different whenever you do attacks, and that way it keeps it from getting too predictable when you're doing the combat. Not that there's too much combat, but I would still like to vary it up whenever I can. So different types of weapons will give you different types of attacks, essentially. And different enemies will have different attack patterns as well. So the troll I was planning on having be very, very slow, nothing too bad. Maybe an occasional fast movement that's unexpected just so that you can take damage. And then later on we'll have attacks like the spider, the giant spider in the Nod Woods level will have something analogous to the single button prompt stuff from Typing of the Dead where you have to type one letter. So he'll have 10 attacks maybe all at once, but they're all one letter long, so you just have to type like W, Q, U, B, G, and all that stuff. That way that it's a lot more frantic and it's different from combat to combat. So anyway, now that we have that, let's go ahead and go back to our combat minigame. That's our JSON stuff. We don't need to worry about that. Here we go. So we're going to say that's fine. Head equip dot sprite, or not sprite, dot enabled equals head equip dot sprite does not equal null. And then we're going to say actually, you know what? We might have let's go ahead and have a function for equipping items, or refreshing equipped items, I suppose would be the easier thing to do. So we'll have public void refresh, capital R, refresh equipment. Okay, I'm just going to copy this stuff and say refresh equipment. Put that there. Paste this here. And then we will say player health label dot rect transform dot position, actually dot local position, right? Yep, local position equals head equip dot enabled. So if the head equipment is there and it's enabled, then it will be set to vector 3 0f 75f 0f else new vector 3 0f 25f 0f. Okay, there we go. Let that compile. That way, whenever if the player equips something in the middle of combat, we'll be able to refresh it and have the actual label move. Don't have to worry about it overlapping anything. So, alright, still got to handle opening the item list. I'm not going to worry about that. For now, I just want to, I'm hoping that by the end of the stream tonight, we'll be able to have combat actually running, even if it's kind of choppy. I would actually like to have it at least pull up and do stuff, which actually, we might go ahead and, first off, let's get those assignments in there. So enemy HP is not there. Oh, because that's the minigame view, that's why. Let's see. Combat minigame, there we go. So enemy HP, player HP, and then we'll go ahead and do these puncture attacks for both of these. If I can get it. There we go. And then we will go ahead and do a couple of things. First off, this sewer troll combat. I'm going to pull that in right there. Okay, now we're going to delete that. Then we are going to have input positioning, or input positions, that works too. Space that out. And these are going to be two transform positions that will just dictate where input should be. So the first one is going to be here, copy component, shown, paste component values, duplicate this, and then hidden. And this is going to be at negative 100y. So if we change this to be negative 100, it'll be off screen. For safety, I'm going to go ahead and say negative 125. Same down here, negative 125. And the reason I do that is because Unity has a habit of interpreting almost exact floats as exact floats. So it's possible when it's tweening off the screen that you would actually be able to see a thin bar of white at the very bottom, because it will have read like 24.9999 as 25, or something like that. So that's all there. Let's go ahead and put all this in there. Shown rect transform, hidden rect transform, input movement curve, all of that. Don't have an output label, which is fine. And there we go. So I'm going to disable this and actually make this a prefab. View. Oh, why did I put that there? It's fine. Combat. Create folder. Prefabs. Alright, let's select this. And 25. We're going to add, how did I lose it already? Right there. Yeah, I don't know why it's so imprecise. I mean, I realize that floats are pretty big numbers, but it's still kind of frustrating. So I'm going to go to the castle sewers, let the materials all build. Alright, so something that we want to do is, we have our troll, and our troll has been set up. It has all of the stuff, it's interactable. I do need to actually change real quick. Enemy prefabs, or enemy scripts. So let's go over here to enemy, which I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of. Enemy. Alright. So here, I actually got rid of almost all of the code that was necessary. Like, I don't think I even need this anymore. So I might just comment it out for now. I'm not sure why it had its own check verb function, because it looks like it was doing exactly what was happening before. Anyway, so the only thing that's different about enemies now is when you use a verb type that means hit, you will enter combat. So I still need to handle transitions gracefully, but for now we're just going to like pull up the menu. So we'll just say global dot, actually not, we don't even, we need to do that. UI dot open, actually not, can't do open, we have to say dot get. Minigame view dot, oh geez, this is going to be tough. Right. Okay. Give me a second here. I have to write something up real quick. One, I need to go to minigame view and say. Right, I didn't even have it finished yet. Public void play minigame. mini game. Target. Let's see. Public rect transform mini game area. We're gonna say prefab here, and then we will say private mini game, current mini game. So we're going to pass a minigame for it to actually instantiate and play and do all that stuff. So we will say games common. Let's see. Current minigame equals pool manager dot request minigame, and then prefab. And then finally, minigame area. Okay, so that should pull it in, instantiate it, and put it underneath everything. And then we would say current minigame dot start really dot play. Okay, really. What do I got? Oh, initialize is one that I need to do. Dot begin. Current minigame dot initialize this, and then current minigame dot begin. Okay, so that should take care of most things. And then we'll say down here on submit, if current minigame does not equal null, current minigame dot I think it's check. Seriously? Oh, I must not have done that. That was stupid of me. Interesting. Well, what did I do then? Check input, I guess, is what I want. Alright. So let me go to minigame and say check input. And I'll have this be an override. So here I can say current minigame dot check input. Input dot text. And I believe we can say base dot on submit. Correct? Nope, because that's right. Really? Give me a second here. I thought on submit. Huh, interesting. Fair enough. Did I write that pool manager? Partially. So I ended up writing a lot of it, but it was actually based on a pool manager that was used at the place I work at. And I just added a bunch of functions to make it easier to call on and to make it a little more sensible in regards to pooling. But the base code was actually written by the former senior programmer for the place I work at right now. Well, I guess technically it was the place I used to work at. Anyway, because the place I work at now is a different place. Right. Give me a second here. Input, view. I could have sworn that no, I guess I just have that right there. Interesting. Minigame view. Put that right there. Alright. So I'm doing this game part-time. Yeah, it's... I'm doing this game whenever I have the time to do this game, which is nowhere near as much time as I would like. I would probably get way more sleep if I didn't make this game. And I would also probably starve if I was doing this full time. Since I do not have enough money to burn to keep just like working on the game, I would need to have some form of financial support for that. So on submit, all that seems to be correct. Okay. So last thing here in combat minigame. Let me make sure that I'm doing all this stuff correctly. Okay. So, I'm going to make this virtual. So we actually have to write the player coroutine right now. And I'm wondering if it would be better to, so just a yield return null to get rid of that error. I might need to have an attack pattern class to handle the different attack patterns for your various types of weapons. So let's see, we have weapon type. Let's go to combat, which is further down here. Combat, weapons. So let's go ahead and say folder, puncture, create, script, puncture, pattern, create C# script. Might be able to actually, yeah, that's probably going to be in the base class. But I do wish that I was able to work on this game full time, just because I would get so much more done. And I would not feel terrible whenever I talked with other indie game developers about their games that are in progress. Because a lot of people, like watching William stream, I always feel bad whenever I watch it. Not for him, but for me, because he makes a lot of progress between each stream, and because he can work, well, because he is working on it full time, it's just like something he can do for most of the day. And then whenever I try to do a dev stream, it's like barely changed since the last dev stream. I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I wish I had more time, or I wish I was way better, or some sort of programming genius, because then I would be able to get more done. But it's not that easy to do, unfortunately. So namespace, text quest. All right, so this is going to have a pretty basic. Yeah, and that is true, because obviously you're not going to have the finances most of the time to just jump in and not do anything else. And I mean, hopefully the game would sell well enough that I would be able to do that for the next game. That's the hope. I do not know if that's going to happen, but that would be nice. And then we'll have our puncture pattern. That. Namespace. Text quest. Attack pattern. Alright. So attack pattern is going to have protected, virtual, IEnumerator, attack routine, and then we'll have public combat attack prefab. Let's see here. Do we want to have duration, or do I want to? I don't know if I want to have duration or if I want to have a. Give me a second here. So we can have a public void start attack. Public void stop attack. private bool is attacking equals false, is attacking equals true, is attacking equals false, start coroutine, attack coroutine, while is attacking. Did you work on your game full-time, non-superior? Or was that a part-time thing as well? Yield, return, null. So I'm going to need a secondary thing here that says private bool finished equals false. Using system.collections.generic. Oh, wow. Full time. I am jealous. I am jealous. So, I'm trying to think. So, I'm basically trying to make an attack pattern that's always going to keep generating attacks until it's told to stop. But at the same time, we don't want it to just end as soon as it's done stopping. I just don't want it to generate more attacks. So you still have to finish up the existing attacks. Yeah, those multiplayer RPGs. Let me tell you, those are something else. Those are very large in scope normally. So while is attacking, let's have. You know what? I wonder if I can do public and float cooldown min equals 0.5f. Float cooldown max equals 1.5f. All right. So we'll have float cooldown equals 0f. And then we'll say cooldown minus equals time delta time. And then we'll say if cooldown is less than or equal to 0, f. Then we'll say cooldown equals random.range between cooldown min, cooldown max. Yeah, I've heard that it's really a problem doing any sort of multiplayer stuff with even small studios with multiple people, just because it's a gigantic effort just to get the networking working. The networking working. That's a weird thing to say. And then even once you're doing it, it's hard to tell, server loads because there's a difference between the 2 or 3 developers testing it and 600 people testing it at the same time. So it's really hard to take all that stuff into account. So we have a cooldown now. Then let's see here. We actually need to spawn an attack. So right, gotta think. Hmm. How do I want to do this? Um, because basically what I need to do now is determine the area to spawn attacks in, and I'm not sure how to do that necessarily. I guess we could have a rect transform. Public rect transform, attack area. Attack area dot. See now here's the other problem is I've tried to do this before, but it's very hard to get the actual positioning of a rect transform. That is not assuming. Well, it's not hard if it's not stretched, but if it's stretched at all, it becomes incredibly hard if I remember correctly. Um, let's see. All right, because I don't think the rect transform dot rect is actually accurate rectangle if it's stretched. UE4's network was kind of crappy and I didn't support dedicated servers. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's gotten better. Unity 5's networking is at least understandable. It's kind of messy still, but it's at least doable. Um, as opposed to Unity's bizarre one before. Although I guess you did have stuff like Photon, but there seem to be some inherent weaknesses with it. It's a really great system for getting things started, but it seems like it has some trouble getting larger scale things to work properly. So I wonder. I suppose that we'll try this. So this is going to be fun. Dot width. So float min-x equals attack area dot position dot x minus divided by 2. So that gives us our left bound. Which actually, I don't remember if rects have. Yeah, I guess you can't say that anymore, can you? I don't think we want to say size. Because I feel like size is not correct anymore. Okay, so float max x equals attack area. That would be the caps lock. Attack area dot position dot x plus attack area dot. Why can't I hit the dot? Rect width divided by 2f. And we will just copy this and do min y max y. I really should have a function for this. I feel like I've tried it before, but I've just not been able to get it to work properly. Height. All right. So now we will have okay, we have our generic list. So we'll do private list combat attack attacks equals new combat attack. Combat attack equals pool up. Right, I gotta do that. Equals null. Using HoosierGames.common equals pool manager dot request combat attack. Oops. And then we would have attack prefab, attack area, I believe, and then I think an offset. Okay, that actually might be a little easier then. Okay. So, if that's the case, then we basically want to have float x equals 0f, and we just do new vector 3 0f 0f 0f, then quaternion dot identity. All right. So what we're going to do here is this is going to be a random dot range between. No, it's not going to be between min x. It's going to be right. Attack area dot rect dot width divided by 2f. 0f for convenience. So actually we'll get rid of all of these and just say width equals that, and then height equals that for convenience. So I'll say negative width and then width. And this is going to be our offset values. So it'll be set to the position of the attack area, the center of it, and then we'll have an offset from there. So we'll have float y equals random.range, negative height. So we'll have, instead of 0f for x, we'll have x, and then y. Not u, y. All right. And then finally, attacks dot add attack. Okay. But we're not done yet because, oh boy. We're going to have private void attack stopped, or attack finished. Combat attack. Private void attack interrupted. Combat attack. Actually, we'll say attack stopped. It's easier to do. And then we'll have attacks dot remove attack, and then attack finished dot attack dot on attack complete minus equals attack finished, which of course it wasn't going to finish it. Combat attack. Why am I being stupid? No. Yeah. Right. I'm not gonna worry about that for now. Well, no, but I can't do that, so I have to say attack dot on attack complete minus equal. It's not a delegate. I don't think. No, that wouldn't. I hate it when I have a brain fart while I'm programming. I've done this a dozen times before. Why can't I think of this? Um, oh, right. Um, attack finished. Hold up. Ah, right. There we go. That's what I remember. Delegate. Oh, right. There we go. Trying to figure it out, and it was just like, eh. There we go. And I don't think I need to do that, so that should all be fine. Attack dot on attack interrupted minus equal attack stopped. Okay, I think that should be fine if I remember correctly. We'll do the same thing here. Actually, no, before we do that. And the last thing we'll be doing is pool manager dot recycle attack dot game object. All right. Oh man. Okay. Then we'll have a public delegate. Gross. Really. Public event. So I basically have sort of nested delegates, which I feel is kind of messy. Because I basically have the attacks themselves that have events telling the attack pattern that is listening to those events to fire its own events that are doing the exact same things. And I suppose it's better this way because then we only have to listen for the attack patterns events as opposed to each individual attack's events. So we're going to have on attack stopped. Actually, let me think. How am I going to do this? That should be fine, I think. So we would say attack dot on attack complete plus equals delegate attack finished attack. So basically that. And then we would do something similar down here with on attack interrupted, attack stopped. All right. It's fun working with events. So on attack stop goes there, and on attack complete goes here. So this way, events will be evaluated properly. So if we have damage needing to be calculated based on each attack that happens, they'll get a live update. Ugh. that's our attack pattern. Um, hmm. Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Um, so we have our attack getting spawned in. We have our cooldown happening. Um, oh, I know what I need to do. While attacks dot count are greater than 0, not 0f, yield return null. And actually, something fun is we can put that all on one line. And then let's see here. Finished equals false. Finished equals true. Public bool finished get return finished. All right. Oh yeah, all that stuff. Let's go let Unity compile real quick. And then now, oh man. Don't need the interactive objects anymore. Let's see, combat mini game, I believe is what I want. Oh man. Let's do public. Attack pattern. I guess we'll do an array. Enemy attacks. New enemy. No, of course. Attack pattern 0. Okay. So basically, we would have attack patterns inside our actual. Where is it? Oh, right, it's right there. So we'll basically have attack patterns inside our actual combat minigames, and those will determine how attacks move around and do stuff. Do we have no reference? No, then why aren't you showing up? Oh, right, because it's an array. Um, hmm. Oh, right. This is fun. Hmm. I almost want to say. Well, okay. Let's see here. So we have our attack pattern. Right. So we can either spawn it in, or we would have it. This is troubling. Because it very well could end up making things messed up. Okay. actually, request. I don't think that I can tell it not to stretch, can I? Nope. Of course not. Well, let's let it go and see what happens. So, right. Final thing to get it actually at least opening up that we needed to do was minigame view. We needed to get a current minigame. We need our combat minigame. That's going to have enemy attack patterns and you know what? Public attack pattern. Player attack equals new attack pattern 0. I'm not crazy about doing it this way, but it will at least work. Are we doing anything with these yet? I really hope not, because that would be crazy. Good. So I can delete these fields. That. Yeah, combat words, I need that. That's good. Alright. Let that compile real quick. And then we're going to want to go back to our menu test so that I can actually, test everything. Make sure that our sewer troll combat is pulled up here. Alright, so all that's there. The next thing we want to do is actually have stretched out thing for attack, enemy attacks. Alright. So, let's go ahead and let's make this like 500 by 500. Or actually, you know what? Let's let's not stretch it first. First off, let's just test this and say 1400 wide. Actually, you know what? Now it's 700 tall with 40 height. Okay. So this is our first attack pattern. And man. Create C# script sewer troll attack pattern. I hate having long names like that. Reload. It's all fine. So all that stuff seems to be fine. To be honest, I don't even know if I need to actually have subclasses of attack pattern. I think it'd be more on the individual attacks themselves. So we can have not a JavaScript file. C# script file. Call this sewer troll attack. Let that compile real quick. This is what's... dang it, this is going to suck. So I lied. I will need to have the sewer troll attack pattern. Load all. Let's pull in sewer attack pattern too. Let's nuke this stuff. We don't need it. Namespace, text, quest. It's going to be under attack pattern. Okay. Don't know why I decided to do that. Namespace. Text quest. Combat attack. Alright. Compile. We'll have public sewer troll attack. Well, actually, no, we won't worry about that. Instead, we'll just have protected override, or what was it? Coroutine. I hate it when it doesn't show up, though. I also hate that I'm going to be duplicating basically the entirety of this coroutine, but there's not really a lot I can do there. So let's change some of these to protected. Set up private. Okay. I was going to say, why are you getting mad at me now? Using HoosierGames.common. That'll fix these guys. And then these guys protected. Cool. All right. And the reason I have to do it like this is because dang it, that's not going to work, is it? Right. Fine. Public sewer troll attack. Attack prefab. I think I can say new, right? Just to check. Yes. So I can say new. And then we'll be able to say, instead of combat attack, sewer troll attack. Let that go. I need the sewer troll attack back up here. And the reason we want to do that is because I have to set the player's transform, so the player character's hero transform, as the target of the attacks. So let's go with public rec transform player transform, I guess. And then let's go to combat attack. We'll copy this. Paste that. Call this override. All right. And then here, we are going to say, oh, this is going to be tough. Oh, man. I guess it would have to be... you know what? Let's go to combat. Go to definition. And I'm just going to go ahead and do private rect transform. You know what? I guess I don't really. Cache transform. Public rect transform. Cache transform. Get return. Cached transform, question mark, cached transform, otherwise cached transform equals get component rect transform. Alright, so back here at sewer troll attack, we'll just say cached transform dot position. Right. Okay. Vector 3 start pose equals cache transform dot position, and then vector 3 sorry, not that, cache transform dot position equals vector 3 dot lerp start pose player transform dot position based on T. And let's go ahead and have public just pull this, grab this, be easier. Instead of a fave curve, it's going to be attack curve. Instead of T, it's going to be attack curve. Dot evaluate from T. All right. Code heavy night. Whew. Right. Enemy pattern 1. We will call this sewer troll attack pattern. Okay, good. That's right there. Attack area is going to be just it. Our attack prefab is going to be duplicate this. We'll call this sewer troll attack. Let's remove this. Add sewer attack. Our text is our label, our indicator is that, and the player transform would get set at runtime. So our sewer troll attack is going to go here. And oh, dang it, it doesn't. Of course not. I thought it would hide the previous one. That's somewhat annoying. I don't like that. Yep, because it's, of course, it's complaining. So if I try to do this, what's going to happen? Oh, great. So I can't. Ugh! Of course not. Why would it? Troll attack prefab will have to do. All right. Oh, what are you complaining about? Alright, so now we have our sewer troll attack again. Our attack prefab is just going to have to be empty. I hate doing that, but we'll have to live with it. Cooldown min, cooldown max, that's all fine. Okay. So next, sewer troll combat. Let's change enemy attacks to 1. Pull this up here. Cool. Oy. So second, we would have player attacks. Stretch that out. Call this puncture. And puncture is going to be all around the opposing enemy, I suppose. Let's do 500 by 600. Let's just do 600 by 600. And maybe 500 by 500. 600 width, I think. Make it a little bit wider than it is tall. Actually, 450. 400. I don't like that. That's a lot of wasted space. 450 with a position of -25. That's a little bit better. Alright. So we will make this our puncture pattern. We will give it a combo attack of puncture attack. That should be fine. Attack area again is going to be that. Cooldown, we'll keep it like that for now. Let's do 0.25. Make it a little bit faster because it's supposed to be a puncture thing, so you would be stabbing pretty quickly. And this puncture attack, has that got a duration? Does not. Okay. Are you, what the heck? What do you mean this field name is serialized multiple times? No, it's not. I fixed that. Maybe that's just a leftover thing. Anyway, let's go to combat attack real quick. And I'm sorry, not combat attack. Attack pattern. And let's go ahead and set public float. Attack speed. Fade in equals 1F. Public float attack fade out equals 1F. Public float, not bloat, float. Attack duration equals 1F. Or 3F. So start attack is going to have float duration equals 3F. Float fade in equals 1F. Float fade out equals 1F. And then we will go ahead and set attack fade in to be fade in. No. That. Attack. Okay, fade out equals fade out. Why are you mad at me? Oh, because I called it fade ID. Fade in. That doesn't make sense. And then attack duration equals duration here. And then we will be able to just say attack, and then attack dot start attack attack in, attack out, and then attack duration. All right. All this stuff will pay off eventually, I promise. At least I really hope that it does. Let's go ahead and add this puncture. Okay. So Sewer Troll Combat, that's all there. Enemy Pattern 1. Oh, I almost forgot. Sewer Troll Attack Pattern. This is going to need a public rec transform player transform. So attack dot player transform equals player transform, and then attack dot start attack, and just so that I have that in there. All right. So, I guess I could, while this is compiling, talk about Star Wars since I finally saw it, a month after everyone else. But I'd prefer not to spoil it for people who haven't seen it yet. Although I will tell you it was terrible. But what did I expect? It was from J.J. Abrams, so. So player transform. There we go. Let's go ahead and pull that. Sweet. Okay. So let's apply changes here. Everything I think is correct. Oh yeah. Actually, before I do that, let me go to it. Combat minigame. Options label. Is this even? Oh right. Find all references. It's right. Okay. Yes. Let me get that real quick. Let's see. Positioning options. That's what I wanted. That goes right there. Okay. So apply. Then let's delete this. And I don't think we have to do anything extra here. We do need to move our minigame area here. Okay. And then we can hit apply here. Whew! What do I want to do here? I wanted to enemy, right. Oh man, this is brutal. So enemies are now going to have a quick reference to their minigame, I believe. So let's go ahead and have public combat minigame, combat minigame, I suppose is all I'm going to call it. All right, and here we will say let me think. How am I going to do this? You know what? I could probably just do UI. Hold on. minigame view. View equals UI.get minigame view. Okay, never mind. Okay, that is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I can say dot. What did I call it? Play minigame. Play minigame. Combat minigame. Okay. So all that stuff, and then submit. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we don't have an elegant way to open it, and we don't have a way to close it at all. But I would like to see if we can even get it. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, right. There we go. But I'd like to see if we can even get it opening stuff, so that we can at least see the input or see the combat minigame in action, even if it's just completely static, null reference broken as soon as it opens up. But that would be better than nothing. I would like to see something by the end of the stream tonight. So let's go to our castle sewers. Let's go to our enemies. Our sewer troll. All this fun stuff. Why are you broken? You should not be broken. Oh, I must not have saved. Go figure. Let me position this real quick. Delete the original. Hit F. All of that seems to be okay. Cool. And real quick, actually, I'm going to have interactive object inspector. I have to add a field to the enemy info. Is door enemy and draw enemy info. Go to definition. Draw this stuff. Cool. And then finally, we're going to say enemy manager dot combat minigame equals editor GUI layout dot object field. I hate it when it doesn't. I hate it when it doesn't autofill. Dot object field. Hold on. New GUI content, which of course is not going to string. Give it a string. We want content label, the object. Okay. Then enemy manager dot combat minigame type of combat minigame. True, I suppose, would be what we want here. And then finally, we're going to need combat minigame. Oh man, I really hate trying to work with the Unity UI stuff. Game 2's play during. I want to say combat minigame, but a minigame to play during combat with this enemy. All right. Let that compile real quick, and we should see it pop up below attack messages there. Ta-da! A little awkward. Maybe I should move it above everything. Yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. That. And let's just paste it right there. So now it'll be above the arrays to make it just a little bit easier to see. Oh, man. All right, so we have that set up now. And we should be able to pull in Sewer Troll Combat. Let's just see what happens. Oh, interesting. Doesn't look like it reflects changes. Or did it not? Bum, bum, bum. Okay. But in all seriousness, I guess I have to just edit that right there. So we're going to play real quick and see what happens. Wow, we already got a null reference. Really? Item database. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know what's causing that. That's very strange. Let's see. Find reference, find database. What's trying to do that? Level manager. Okay. Huh. We haven't had this before, so this is kind of out of nowhere. But level manager CS 233. 233. So we have item spawn info. Okay. That's odd. Item. It's looking for an item, and then it's looking for. Huh. I don't know what it could possibly be looking for. It would have to be looking for sewer key, I suppose. Text quest, data, interactions, item database. We have a sewer key. Correct. No. Why not? That's super weird. I must have deleted it? Huh. I did. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Of course I deleted it. Yeah, I probably. Okay. That's super weird. I actually don't know why I. Okay then. Well, that's kind of annoying. Let's change this to something that isn't broken. Wax key, and then we'll switch it back later. Are you kidding me? Oh, screw you. Ah, of course. So it's looking through all of my item spawn info stuff, which is down here in items. And we are getting a null reference. What, does it not have a wax key now? Let me see. That's to you. There is a wax key. It's just complaining for no good reason. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Fine, we'll just go 0. Full on go around it. Alright. Looks so bad when it's not moving. Let's go over here. And moment of truth. Hopefully it'll at least open up. Hit. That's no good. Why, oh why, did that happen? It is an enemy. That must be... No way. No way it's that stupid. That doesn't make sense. Let me double check to make sure that I'm not being weird. Let's see. Verbs, hit. Hit. Have any required items? No required anything. Output is text only. Okay. That's curious. Close this, close that, and let's go back to... Oh. You know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Open. I never opened it. Okay. Let's try that again. That is probably why. And let's see. Oh good, I've also turned off light and dark, which means that I can sprint through this part. Bam. Ah, super dark in there. Okay, moment of truth. Ha ha ha! Yes! It's busted, but yes. It at least shows up. Okay. And just out of curiosity, minigame, root, game area. Oh, nuts to you, game. No. Right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say current minigame.rect. Of course not. Get component rect transform dot size delta equals vector 2.0. And let's see what that null reference was. Oh, really? A parameter out of range exception? That's what got me? Parser. Ah, I bet. Ah, okay, yeah. So I was right. I need to basically tell the parser to stop. true, 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 I think is what I want for all of that. So let's see what happens. Man. Clear that out. Let's see what happens. Ah, fell into the freaking wall. Need a different controller. Hit. Okay, still got a null reference exception. Really? Parser, okay. Parser 240. Why are you complaining? Parser shouldn't be doing anything. Set multiple sentences. That's not a good thing. But stopping doesn't seem to do that. Okay. Let's see. Where was I? Enemy. Here we go. Ah. Let's just try reset parser. See if that fixes things. Because we got as far as opening the menu, which is always a good thing. Progress. Alright. And, of course, just gonna duplicate this for one, so that I don't lose the original place again. Put that there, and we'll make that called castle entrance. So now we should spawn right next to the troll. Hit. Ah, really? Seriously? What on earth did I do to do that? Because something... Unreachable code detect... Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, what if we did this? Oh, that's also wrong. Okay. So we basically just move that code in front of the part that's opening up the UI. Because I'm wondering if, for some reason, my parser is trying really, really hard to reference the input menu. Ugh, excuse me. And let's see. Hit. Really? Okay. It's just something about this then. That's very odd. Let me try something other than hit and see if it works. So it's something unique to hit. Which means... question. Parameter out of range. Listen for submit. Maybe. Let me think. That would be weird. See output. So what's this doing? Changing our output. Blah blah blah. Showing names. I don't really need any of this. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Let me see what this does. Go to definition. Open from interaction. Yeah, we're doing parser.reset parser true true true. Ah. No, that wouldn't make sense. Okay. Well, let's take a look at this. Get rid of all of this basically because we don't want it to do anything like that. So parser 240. We're getting the set multiple sentences problem. So 240 receive input. Set multiple sentences. Okay. Let's take a look at parser 371. 71. All right. It doesn't seem to like being told to reset in the middle of its execution, which is quite infuriating. And I bet what's happening is let's try this. I don't know why. It could be this. Ugh, excuse me. Because it shouldn't be so hard coded. I don't think it is. The frig. But it doesn't seem to want to wrap up very well, is the problem. And of course I'm going to do this, aren't I? Private I numerator hit delay. start coroutine, hit delay. If this works, I will be quite infuriated. Alright, let's see. Hit. Ta-da! Yeah, that's about what I expected. No null reference. I needed a frame, which... it's probably because of the way that I scripted sentences. So how the parser works is when you input a sentence, it's actually not just like an individual string. It actually gets put into an array of strings. So even though it's only one sentence, the reason I did it that way is so that you could have compound sentences like unlock door with key and open, or eat apple and drink milkshake. Those are terrible sentences. But then what happens is that individual string sentence of eat apple and drink milkshake would be split up based on and into eat apple and then a second one that's drink milkshake. So what was happening is basically it was getting a string called hit and it was executing on that string, but before it could finish executing, I was telling the parser to reset. So it was in the middle of its sentence execution. It just kind of like freaked out and didn't know what to do properly, which is very, very infuriating. But I'm not sure if I want to try and change that because it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of frustrating. Oh. Silly me. I forgot it's using UGUI, so I have to wait one frame before I can actually set the size to be 0. Yep. Go figure. So, let's see here. So we have our sewer. No, we have our enemy. That's what we want. Oh, that annoys the crap out of me. Definition. Right. Just out of curiosity, go to definition. Go to definition. Go to definition. No, not peak. Why is peak even a thing? Go to definition. Actually, that's not true. I understand why it's a thing, but go to definition because sometimes you want to look at your code and the code that you want to reference. Request. There should be. Place object. That's what we want. Definition. It's hard to remember this all ahead of time. Set parent. Oh, good. That's why. Okay. So it looks like what I actually want to do is let's see, minigame view. Yeah, I was worried about that. Size delta vector 2.0 I don't think is properly working. That kind of sucks. So let's see. What can I do to fix this? One is have a quick test. hate putting in coroutines like this. Just because it's so incredibly messy. All right. Let's try this again. Interesting. I don't... I'm not sure why it doesn't seem to stretch itself appropriately. Well, one, I can also get rid of this, so hooray. That didn't work, but that means that I don't have to have a whole coroutine to do anything with it, which is good. Well, compile. We'll take one more look at it when it actually gets pulled up. It looks like the horizontal values are getting set to 0, but for some reason the vertical values aren't getting set to 0, which is very odd to me. Hit. Alright. So we look at our UI, our view minigame. We have our minigame area, which is over here. Okay. Our sewer troll combat was a stretch to fill thing. And it looks like... Ah, no. Right. Go figure. Okay. Just out of curiosity, let me try something. If this works, I will be very... hit. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that about figures. So, the way it works is, for some reason, for some unknown reason, the minigame area's pivot has been set to 0 in the y-axis, which means that when we look at it, you can see that its transform position is actually down here at the bottom. And the sewer troll combats was not. It was set in its center, which means that when it got instantiated, it was actually positioned in the center of the parent minigame area, which means that its center point is going to be down here at the bottom, not in the center where it needs to be. So in order to match them up appropriately, we have to change their pivot, which is stupid because it means that instead of using stretching based on the actual anchors, it's using stretching somehow based on the parent's transform as a center point, which is just really weird. Because even if that could have been reset, when we waited one frame to reset everything, it didn't actually reset to scale everything out appropriately. It just it just stayed where it was, which was very weird. So at least we got it working, showing up now, which means that now we actually need to set up functionality of it. And before we do that, I want to see. Oh, I know why. Okay. Let's go to our views. There's it. Mini games, prefabs, view mini game. Oh. You know what might be good is setting this stuff up. Wait, that's not right. Hold on. That stuff should have been set up already. Scenes. Test. Menu test. Yeah, that stuff is set up. Oh, why do I have two prefabs? Oh, that's kind of stupid of me now, isn't it? Okay, well, then let's just go ahead and delete this one. And then let's go ahead and move this over here. And make sure that UI still has a reference. Good. So that's all correct. I'm going to select this input field so that I can get rid of this placeholder text. All right. So now when we actually play, it's not gonna clear that information until you actually start typing. So let's go back to our intro, Castle Sewers, get that taken care of. All right. So we'll say hit. Interesting, we have a null reference, which is odd. Why do we have a null reference? Let's see. Did something stupid happen here? No. What the frig happened here? Okay. So we have enemy. What did it? Ah, seriously? Super Troll Combat. Why did it reset? That doesn't make sense. I feel like it's not saving that stuff for some reason. I'm going to select this. Uh-oh. That's no good. It's not saving it. So if I assign this, then check off of it, and go back here to Sewer Troll. Select. Okay, it's there now. Keep an eye on that. Make sure that it doesn't null out again, because that's kind of frustrating. So open. Oh, not open. Hit. All right. So nice, but it's not showing our options, which is annoying. So let's go to minigame view, initialize, and current minigame up again. So let's go to our combat minigame and say start combat. Ah, that would be why. Correct? Let me see. Yep, minigame. All right. So we're going to say public override void begin. Wait. Oh, you know what it is? I bet. 10-1 says that Sewer Troll Combat is overriding it. So actually, we'll get rid of that. Get rid of all of these things, including this. Why are you mad? Right. public override void stop. Okay. So let's try this again, see if it actually works. At least pulls up everything. So combat minigame and begin is going to do start combat. Oh crap. Oh crap. That's problematic. I guess of course it is. Okay. So that's okay. Public override void begin. I do not like doing this, but no, that's not going to work. Oh man, that's a glaring flaw that I didn't think of. I have to pass the enemy into the combat, but I don't have a way to nicely reference it. Oh, dang it. So we have play minigame. Minigame prefab. But the prefab isn't going to reference something in the scene. Oh, crud. So... Not good. I suppose I could go for a non-generic function. So instead of play minigame, I could add a function called play or enter combat or do something like that. And then I would pass the prefab and the enemy. Which, you know, it sucks. But I kind of don't have a good choice for it. So basically do this public void enter combat. Combat minigame prefab enemy play minigame prefab and then casting really current minigame as combat minigame dot start combat enemy. Oh man, that's just so terrible. So this would actually be enter combat. This. Why are you mad? You lie. It didn't. It was just case sensitive. Okay. Then some quick things to do. Right. Enemy label. Enemy health label. Dot text equals string dot format. 0, 1. Enemy dot health points. Really? not. Okay, it doesn't seem to... Okay, I'm just going to say health points. What did I friggin' call them? Yeah, I did call them health points, and yet it's not showing up. Graphic. Oh, right, not enemy, it's target. Go figure. That was me being stupid. Okay. I think we're getting close. Not open. Hit. Ha! Oh. Super awkward and not at all weird now, is it? Okay, give me a second here. Yeah, it did what I was afraid it would do. So it started the transition to pull it up from the bottom. And you can see that I bet it's because of the transform position. So input positions. I bet these had to be the same. Oh no, they were pivoted the same. Okay. And yet, for the life of me, what? Are you kidding me? The input field is different. This should be 0. This should be, what, probably 10? Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, no way. No, 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 no. There's just no. There's just no way that that's how it's done. Oh my god. Is Unity really that incompetent? I guess I shouldn't say it that harshly, but no, that wouldn't even make sense. No, 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 no. So now it's back. We can select an action. None of these will work yet. Oh, and also our health is messed up. Mm, just lovely. Why is our health messed up? Minigame area, super combat, hero, player HP, and of course. Of course. How could I be so foolish? It's because of the pivots. Ah! Unity! Why would you do that? That is so dumb. Wow. Just... wow. Oh my god. Okay. Well, so we got it opening up, which was what I was hoping to do tonight. Um, and I know that none of the other stuff will work, because if I type it, it's just gonna break. But at least we got something. Just out of curiosity, I would like to make sure that check input. Oh, I probably don't even have it in the correct phase. So, in any case, I think that's a good place to stop for the night, at least for the stream, because there's a lot of other sort of back end things that I have to do to make sure that everything's working properly and get it all set up. But I'm trying to think. Tomorrow night it's going to be Wednesday, so we're going to be returning to our old schedule of not streaming on Wednesday nights. So there will not be a stream tomorrow. I will continue to work, and hopefully by Thursday I will have a much more fleshed out combat minigame to show you guys. Just because I would like to get a rough version of this working by the end of this week, definitely before the beginning of next week, because I would like to play test it on Monday. So that'll do it for the stream tonight. As always, thank you all very much for watching. You should all go vote for Unsuperior's game, and I will see you all next time. Oh, and actually, before I forget, I'm going to try an outro song thing that I wanted to mess around with. So it's like a weird thing that's gonna happen in OBS, and you guys are gonna have to tell me if it works or not. Because I'd like to start doing like a short outro thing, just because I'd like to do that. So let's just try that real quick, and I will see you all next time, I suppose. Ah, oh, no, dang it. Never mind. It looks like the music's not going to play. Go figure. Well, never mind. So you guys saw sort of a preview of what I'm trying to do. But I wanted to get music playing, and I haven't quite figured out how to do it, so. Inelegance is my name, apparently. Well, anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and enduring my terrible, terrible OBS experience.